Okay, so we are live, and today we're going to talk about managing your real estate business with Google. I consider Marky Lemons a huge expert. I know Justin is an expert, and I'm just going to assume Noah is because he found Blab. I am Carrie Bay Little. I am a licensed real estate professional in the state of Illinois. Well, really, I should say Northern Illinois. I am a digital marketing strategist for real estate. I am a licensed CE instructor. I will be finished with my digital marketing and digital marketing analytics master's degree in the middle of December. So I'm kind of excited. And I don't know if you need to know anything else, but so it's personal. I will tell you that I'm a mom. I have 5 kids. The youngest is 13 and the oldest is 25. So we'll go with that. Go for it, Marky.
Hey guys, my name is Marky Lemons Rowell. I am a social media speaker and author of Social Media Ethics. I only use social media because it's where I connect with everyone. But actually, I was social before social media. And Carrie Bay and I, we do a lot of things together. Pretty elated that we can work together. And we teach a whole bunch of realtors a whole bunch of stuff.
So go for it, Noah. Tell us who you are.
All right. Well, I'm kind of in the same space as you guys. I work for my own company that I founded, which is called Winning Agent Mastermind. So I do both in-person and online trainings, specifically with realtors. I teach them everything from social media to digital advertising to email marketing. Pretty much anything in the online space. So
nice.
Similar to what you guys do, yeah.
Okay, Justin.
So my name is Justin Lethby. I'm a realtor in Illinois as well. 3 of us all kind of go in the same arena here. Instructor, real estate agent. I'm basically all things tech. So if it's out there tech, I'm going to know it, and I'm going to have my greedy little fingers in it some way or another.
Okay, so cool. And for those of you that don't know, Marky Lemons and I, we have a Blab every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And our goal is to focus on real estate agents and the real estate industry. However, if you happen to join us and you're not in the real estate industry, everything that we talk about, you could probably translate into your marketplace. So if you joined us, you don't have to leave. I'm pretty sure with the 4 of us, you'll either learn something new or maybe we'll motivate you to figure out how to figure it out. Okay, so I'd like to have a conversation. We've got 4 people in the room, which is fabulous. I've never started with 4, so I think this is kind of cool. And for those of you that are new, just remember, I think it's /Q to ask a question. Did I say that right, Justin?
Yeah.
So if you want to ask a question, and I will monitor the screen. And I kind of want to start with Marky because Marky, we all probably use the Google universe or the Google world a little bit differently. And I'm a basic user and I really do focus on the real estate industry, but it's fine. I find that my network is new to everything, or at least the people that I train, because I'm a trainer for our MLS. And a lot of times I have to step back to help them get it. So I want to start with Marky. I think she's over there. And so Marky, so give us some of your tips on how you are using Google in your real estate business, or how you are educating the real estate agents in your marketplace.
Well, I used to be, keep it simple. Google.com/trends used to be a go-to tool of mine. But then I grew up a little bit and I started utilizing AdWords.google.com. I'm big on keywords. I think you should always talk the way that people search so that you can get found. And we often talk our own language in the world of real estate. So I'm always doing keyword research to, one, include in my bios, and I research content around my keywords. So I'm always sharing what I say that I do. In addition to that, I have a Google Voice number. I utilize Google Sheets a lot. And I have just fallen in love with the whole voice to text transcription inside of Google Sheets. For those of us who love to talk, honey, you can talk all night and day, and it just prints it as you're saying it. In addition, I believe that we should do open house pre-registrations. And so I use Google Forms quite a bit as registration pages. And because I work in conjunction with some bigger organizations like Hootsuite, I'm realizing that a lot of our big companies, some of our biggest franchises, they are all on Google. They just look like it's branded to their company. And so when people have all of these tools with that login and password and everything to email, a lot of those companies are based on a Google platform, and it's very cost effective. And so I'm using Google for quite a few things in my business because it is cost effective, it's reliable, and it gets the job done.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to go, I think Noah's right below me. And so Noah, make our heads hurt.
Sure. Well, I actually do use the Google suite of Office apps for my own personal business. I think it's like $10 a month to have your own branded Google. I mean, you could create the intranet rather. You can, have your own branded version of Gmail. And then if you want to bring other users on, I think it's just like $10 per user. I mean, like you said, it provides them all the Google Docs. You could share docs. You could make them available in Google Drive for everyone. As far as like keyword research and trending topics, I actually use, and I'm not sure if everyone here is familiar, I use BuzzSumo. And so BuzzSumo is a really good tool. And then another one, it's called Topsy.com, Topsy.com. Go check it out. It's similar to BuzzSumo, except it uses Twitter search. And so you could type any keyword in Topsy. I'll put a link over here on the right, Topsy.com. And what it does is it'll just return trending articles, and you can narrow the time frame down on the left. You could have it return links, pictures, and then, that service is free. So, BuzzSumo gives you limited returns on trends before you have to start paying. Topsy is free. So, I mean, that's the way I do a lot of my topic research. So I find that, keywords are great for when people are searching you, but getting a story or getting some content viral, if you're like the first one to get it out there, you're more likely to have it shared.
By using Topsy.
Topsy and BuzzSumo are kind of my two favorites. I also, go on BuzzFeed and Mashable and use Feedly. I don't know if you guys use Feedly as like an RSS feed. So I'll subscribe to things like Inman and House Logic and Zillow just for their articles to share, or just basically give me an idea to blog on the topic that they're talking about.
So I like the Topsy. I like Topsy, and I like the BuzzSumo as well, because I've gotten some relevant information from both of those. And I do use Feedly. I had thought about using the paid version, so then I could also share those and save them inside of Evernote. That would really be the only reason. But now I just do the extra click, get to the browser and still save it.
There's so similar to Evernote, there's another program called Pocket. I'm not sure if it's for PC and Mac, but it probably is. Pocket it's also free, and it adds a little, you could add a little button to your browser, and you just click it and it saves the article for later. I think that there's another one called Instapaper that's similar. So you could kind of just aggregate all your articles and then reshare those.
Yeah, see over to I think it's this way. I think it's Desiree says that they're using paper.li. I do use paper.li. It's been a long time since I logged in, but it posts for me every day, which is kind of cool.
You know what? They've just sent out an e-blast because I guess they wanted a lot of people to come and start think about the content in which you're sharing. So I actually went in yesterday and set up, I think, the Blab Digest, and I was amazed at how many articles I was seeing through all the different outlets. And I'm like, man, I need to probably look at this for newer trending topics, because it was just pulling in all those different articles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to be duplicated, replicated, so we have more time to do research.
You think?
Well, that's why there's 4 of us, right?
Right. That's why there's 4 of us. Okay. So Justin, how are you using Google in your business, or how are you educating real estate agents?
It may actually be quicker to say how I'm not using Google.
Okay. Go for it.
I pretty much, you can think of it, I'm pretty much using it. I use a Google Apps account. I have that way, because what I did when I got Google Apps, it was free, and I could have up to 50 accounts in one business account, and I don't pay for it. So when I was doing it, I can set up a training account. I can set up personal accounts, responders, and all that stuff's in place and already done. And I have all these accounts that go in there, and they lead into my phone or do whatever. I use Google Hangouts and Google Hangouts on Air to advertise and do trainings from that regards. That tool is amazing for that, and it's free. I don't have to go to webinar or go to meetings, anything like that, to get that stuff done. I use Google shorteners, so GOO.GL for shorteners. Just like Bitly, I like Google because, and I had never tried Bitly. I know Carrie was on it last week, but I like Google because it gives me basic analytics inside there. So I can learn what marketing is working for me, or if I got to change things, where that leads are coming from, where the business is coming from, and how I need to tweak stuff. Which then goes to, I actually use a ton of Google Analytics. I'm in there all the time, tweaking stuff around, finding where leads are coming from my website, what campaigns are working, from social media, from whatever. And I still consider myself a newbie as far as analytics go, because that stuff is deep. Way deep. Trying to think what else. Gmail. I'm a big Gmail with autoresponders in there. I use the whole Google suite of products. I don't use Microsoft anymore, because even though it's only $100 a year, I get mine for free. It's done. I don't have to worry about it. I love Google Voice. I love Google Voice because I've had that right after it got bought out from Google, and it was Grand Central.
Okay.
And what's nice about it when it came into Google was I can group everybody. And in Google Voice, I can have custom voicemail messages for groups. So in there, if it's family, I can say, hey, nice talking to you. Hope I, miss you guys. Let's talk soon. My customers don't want to hear I miss them.
Yes,
or maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know, but I don't think they do. But for customers, especially like active clients, hey, your phone call is important to me. I will get back to you in this amount of time. Boom. That kind of stuff goes on. And it goes. And the nice thing about it is when it comes in Google Voice, not only do they get a custom message, it makes it sound like it's personal, but I get it transcribed into my text, and I get to really read and decipher if it's worth responding. 9 out of 10 times, and since you guys are all here and you're not my customers, I can say this out loud. My phone is sitting next to me. My phone is sitting next to me at all times, and I probably answer it 1 out every time, 10 times. But I'll let the transcription be my checker and go, okay, that's worth calling. I need to call back.
Okay.
Who uses a phone anymore?
I don't.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
I think we call that thing wrong. I think we name
it
wrong. I don't think it's a cell phone. I think it's just a smart device.
I'm just saying, you'd be surprised. So many, even clients, that like in real estate, they see a house, they want to text, right? Like they don't even want to call you. That's just the way people operate. And I think as we're catering to the younger or the millennial generation, I mean, I think I didn't say you should pick up the phone, but ding, ding, ding. That's all my phone does every day, all day, is text messages. Hardly anyone ever calls me.
My phone is set to silent, and I don't even mean vibrate. It's set to silent. I don't see the messages. I just see things pop up.
Right. And I was going to say, here, right, Marky, let me say mine. I have a millennial, my oldest, and yes, he only sends a text message, but I've learned that he will call me if he wants something.
Oh, I like that. Look what she said. Have the clients call in to the Google voicemail and leave testimonials, download them, and then you can embed them on your website.
Yep.
That's a great tip.
That's a good tip. I like that tip. That's an excellent idea. One thing I would say with the Google Voice, I often listen to the voicemail, but what I love about it, if it's a clean voicemail and it doesn't have any confidential information, I just forward the voicemail. And so I don't have to stop, regurgitate what the person said or any of that. I am forwarding text messages and emails, provided that they're clean. And then on my web browser, if you use Evernote, to back up anything, then I am using that. I'm using the browser to basically share that into their file, even though I could forward it via my Evernote email address. I still use the browser as well. So for me, life is all about create once, post everywhere, or how many places can I syndicate and save seconds off of my day.
Yeah, I love Marky's, that's her trademark. Every time we go, if you've been in class, Marky says, do you know? If you can say it, then you've been in class. If not, then I know you're seeing her for the first time. So before I ask a few more questions, I just want to give you some of my tips on how our office uses Google, and the company I work for uses Google as a platform. But I'll give you some real estate tips of how I think real estate agents can use Google. I use many of the tools. I actually use Google Analytics, and I really understand the dashboards, the click-through, the exits, where people are coming from, how to adjust. And that's for my own business. Mm-hmm. However, as a real estate agent, I think there are so many other ways you can use it simply. So with the real estate forms, and it doesn't matter who you work for. Now, you can use SurveyMonkey, but I like Google Forms for this reason. And our office has started doing this. The office marketing person, as soon as you close on a deal, whether it's a listing or a buy, the real estate agent gets a survey, and the survey says, would you like us to send a survey to the client? And it's yes or no. And if it's yes, put in your client's name and email address. Then when we say yes, then the marketing person in the office automatically sends a survey to the client. So we get the testimonials right away, and it's tracked, and it's in a digital format, and it goes right to Google Sheets, which I love. Mm-hmm. So that's one way to use the Google Forms, which is the survey. And it took me a while to figure out forms. I had no reason to click it until I realized it was a great way to build a survey. The other thing I like about Google, and the way I think, I'm all over the place. And I used to, if you called me, I would grab a napkin, I would grab whatever I had, and I would take notes. And I would lose the napkin. It would go out the window, I'd lose it, and I would never call you back. Now, I will tell you the truth. I don't answer the phone for that reason anymore, because if you call me and I can't write, I can't help you. So it's better to go to voicemail or text. But what I've learned is, and I do use Evernote, but I've figured out that with Google Keep, I can take a quick note, and then it syncs right with Google Keep, and I can go back and get to it, and then I can respond and put that person's information right into my contact list. So I like Google Keep because it's like Post-it notes. The other thing I like about Google, and some of you have already said some of these, so I'm going to skip a few, is I like the idea of the Panoramio. Now, most of us don't even use Panoramio, and I didn't even really realize that Google owned Panoramio. Now, if any of you use a product called Cloud CMA, Cloud CMA replaced, and it really doesn't matter where you work, but we had this product that was called Lightning 2000, and it would build a market analysis in minutes. But Cloud CMA is a web-based tool that will help you build a paperless CMA. You can email it. You can create reports via email in seconds. So you can call me. I can send you a listing in seconds. But Panoramio is fed into this system, and Panoramio is a place where you can share and explore photos. Mm-hmm. But people that upload their own photos are the people that's photos that get shared to Cloud CMA. Mm-hmm. So if you want to dominate your area, you should go take your own photos and upload them to Panoramio, because if you invest in products that are using these market analysis tools that are paperless, because you can present your full CMA on your iPad, then you are controlling the photos that are there. So Panoramio, even though we don't think about it, it's a great way to showcase the cities you live in. It's a great way to showcase the restaurants that you visit. Mm-hmm. And then if you invest in some of the other tools, they're all of your photos. Now, you will be helping every real estate agent in your network, but it's worth it, because when we first started using Cloud CMA in our industry, and Cloud CMA, they are in California. So I know that they're a big product. It's W&R Studios. So my recommendation is to go out, take your photos, upload to Panoramio, and then if you're using Cloud CMA, if you're taking pictures of the restaurants, you are going to build your digital footprint. It's Panoramio, which is owned by Google. So if it's owned by Google and you post, you end up with a better digital footprint. So I really like Panoramio. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to tell you that you guys haven't said. There's probably a lot. I really like Google Trends. Marky probably already touched on that. So is there anything else? Now, I will say, when it comes to the Google Sheets, I use Google Sheets for my assistant. I track all of my business in Google Sheets and my clients, and I categorize them, and I share the Google Sheet with my client, with my assistant. So he has the ability to track where the income is coming from, because my assistant husband is motivated by money. So if he can see that, it actually helps me get him to do what I need him to do. So I use Google Sheets for that. So you could really run your business from Google because they've got their blog product. So anything else? What else are you guys doing? Are there any other questions in the feed? What do you want to hear? Does anyone else have it? Yeah, Google Alerts. That's it. Desiree, you're right. We forgot about Google Alerts.
And so one thing, when I go back and look at the Google Analytics, or I'm not Analytics, Google AdWords, those words that people are searching for, I'm setting up Google Alerts for, in addition to setting up my name and my competition's name. Plus, I recommend that you do set up each listing and any abbreviation of its spelling, because now every day you're likely to get an alert about the property being syndicated to yet another website. And you can share that with the homeowner, and makes it look like you're doing a whole lot of work. While you were talking, Carrie, I posted quite a few links over in the chat bar, because I use If This Then That and Zapier to automate a lot of tasks inside of Google. And so some things that I put over there was that, let's say, for instance, you save a new contact to your device. And Carrie knows this. I sent her a referral because I scan all of my business cards with Evernote. And I'm able to connect with them on LinkedIn. I save them to my Google contacts, and they're saved to Evernote. But I can also have them, one, go over to a spreadsheet. So I'm getting this running list of all the contact information. I also use Zapier, where I connect Infusionsoft to my Google contacts. So then you get a welcome email, and you're dropped into one of my email campaigns contingent upon how I have you entered and tag you. Another one is keeping a call log of any telephone calls that you make. It can keep a log of those calls. It can keep a log of your text messages. And so you can expand Google with tools like If This Then That, which is currently free, or Zapier, which has a free version, but I actually use the paid version of that, because my goal is to have that information as many places as humanly possible. Now, there's some people still in real estate who believe they have a personal and a private life. I don't know why you think of that, but anyway, we're in a social environment, okay? Perception is reality. So if I start, every time you see me, I'm turning up and I had a wine glass, they're going to think Marky the realtor is a drunk, period. They're not taking the drinking Marky and separating them, okay? And so with that being said, you're the same person all the time, and people put you together whether you want your two personalities to be put together or not. So for me, I want to connect with you in as many ways as possible, but there are too many tools that automate these redundant tasks. Why don't we keep abreast of what's going on with people and have them in multiple places? Mm-hmm. And Google and a few add-ons allow you to do that.
And I would, just to tailor off of the Google Alerts, love it, Desiree. You can use Google Alerts for everything. I use Google Alerts to watch the city that I live in, so I can get an alert of what's happening. The most recent might have been that the police were going to be at certain intersections, so I knew where to slow down. Not that I'm a true speeder, but it really helps you pay attention. And I use Google Alerts, and I put all of my kids in an alert. and that's just a safety precaution. So you can really use it for business, and you can use it to protect yourself and your family. Do any of you use, do you do that? You should put your son in as an alert, Marky, because he's in another state. College student, let's track him.
Let me tell you something. The day that boy set up an Instagram account for S. Lemons Consultant, and it popped up on my device, and I'm instantly texting him. I'm like, when you have time to start a consultant company? How do you know that? Baby, bye. I know everything. Yeah. Monitoring these young adults will be a full-time job.
Right. Because literally I sit down and I ask my kids what they're using. What's the new tool they're using? I do. And my youngest, a couple of years ago, was doing homework on a live streaming product. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, we're doing homework. Like, what? So, yeah, I do ask him. Yes. Wow. They're always, I'm not, Cindy. I'm not. Okay. So do any of you use Google Drive?
Yeah.
You know, I was on a Blab the other day, a few days ago, and it's killing me. I'm trying to find it. Michael is his name, and if any of you have seen him, and I got to find his Google Doc, and he's very techie, but he didn't have all the stuff set up in lead pages. He shared something in Google Drive, which I think it was Google Docs, of all of his After Effects images that show up on the bottom of his screen.
Cool.
But he used that as a way to share it with the feed over to the whatever left or right.
I tell real estate agents, if you have Google Drive on your tablet, on your computer, I mean, I'm a big paperless type of person. I preach, don't walk around with a big sloppy bag full of, papers. And I actually just, I know Marky was talking about Evernote and the business cards. I'm a big fan of that. I actually just purged I physically threw out, the big stack of business cards that I just had laying around, and just got them all into Evernote. Got them all into my contacts, connected with them on LinkedIn. And I show real estate agents how to do that, and they think it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's just all about staying organized. And I think using Google Drive to have, if you have parts of your listing presentation, hey, you might qualify for a VA loan. Here's a flyer on that. Let me just email it or share it with you. So, I'm a big fan of using Google Drive in that manner to, for a customer facing experience. Because, let's face it, a lot of the customers, they're not very techie, a lot of sellers. And, you all of a sudden show them, you have all this listing material and all these comps on Google Drive. Well, they don't even know it's Google Drive. It's just on your tablet. They're going to be like, wow, this agent knows what they're doing. They have their stuff together. With the alerts, I'm a big fan of IFTTT as well. And one of the cool parts about IFT is you could actually even set up Craigslist alerts for your local Craigslist. And so I know some agents, I help them. I know a lot of agents like to call them FSBOs, right? For sale by owner. So you could actually set an automated alert when someone puts a FSBO on Craigslist for it to just email you right away. So you might be the first one to call on that FSBO and say, hey, what do you think?
I like that.
Yeah.
You want to be careful with that. Depending on your area, you might want to filter that out so it's very specific and on point, because otherwise you're getting 5,000 emails. But it's an awesome idea from a collection perspective.
What I usually tell them to do is you can get an instant email, or you can get an email digest. I usually tell them just to get the email digest or set a filter up in their email box so it just dumps into a folder. Yeah.
I do like that. Now, the only challenge is that there are some for sale by owner ads that are a lot of people that even list on those for sale by owner websites. Those are actually real estate companies. So in our marketplace, you do have to check, but it would be worth setting up that if this then that just to see how it works.
Yeah.
Cindy's going to test it and tell us about it.
Yeah. Oh, and a lot of times, I even have them set up an alert for, so like on Craigslist on the rental section, right? So you could sort out like rentals that are like 3 or 4 bedrooms or above, right? If you set up send me an email digest of new rentals that are 4 bedrooms or above, chances are that's going to be a house. It's not going to be an apartment complex. And so then you can, kind of door knock on those guys and say, hey, the market's up right now. Maybe instead of renting, let's put your house for sale, and let's do it. Let's do some comps on your house. So I have them set up that if alert, and you could even have the if alert dump into a Google sheet. So you just have a list of if you want to print it out or just have it on your tablet, you have a list of addresses just to go to.
I feel like I need to just sit down and read all day to try to learn all this stuff. Yeah. I need another person.
I'm a big fan of we call it like growth hacking, right? Like I'm not sure if you guys know the term growth hacking. So it's basically like like hacking the system to just automate these tedious tasks for you. So you can use technology. So you're not working like any other agent. You're basically just having the leads come into you, whereas people are paying $300, $400, $500 a month for leads that 3 other agents are getting. Well, here you are in your own digital world getting all these outside the box leads that no one's calling, and it works.
Yeah, I like that. I know. Okay, so you got me really thinking, and I feel like I should be working. So bye, everyone. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's what I teach in my mastermind classes and on my website. I really kind of teach. I don't teach them really like the traditional. I mean, I do teach them traditional sales, but I'm more like, listen, everyone is doing, the mailing postcards and doing this and doing that. Let's think outside the box and really how to get the leads that nobody else is tapping into, and let's do it for free.
Go ahead.
You know what? I was just, I like that idea. One thing I use in my class, the article that Gary Vaynerchuk wrote, 13 tweets a real estate professional should have answered and not I. And in 15 minutes, Gary said on Twitter, and he responded to 13 tweets, either for people searching for a house hunting or looking for an apartment. And what blows my mind is that people still think that they should utilize direct mail when you don't know who saw the piece of dang on mail, right? You don't know how long they touched it, if they engaged with it or not. But you won't take 15 minutes to sit your butt on Twitter and engage with people who just told you what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. You could use IFT to set up a Twitter alert, right? Moving to, and then the city name, and you'll get an email digest or an instant email. Now, those you get a lot of junk, but I mean, I set it up with a few of my clients, and almost everyone has gotten a listing off of it. I mean, it takes a little while, but if you're just getting an email every day of these tweets of moving to San Diego, moving to Charlotte, moving to wherever, I mean, it's a lead, right? It might be cold. You just skip it, and it doesn't cost anything.
I used If This Then That to do that, and I actually was able to GEO tag those. If they were talking, I think I did 5 square miles from 60605, and in 24 hours, I had received 6 emails. And so, to me, it's just absolutely no excuse when people are telling you about their need to buy and sell real estate without saying they need to buy and sell it. Why do you feel compelled to still throw money after ads that people might not engage with? It's just there's a disconnect. And one thing I'm noticing, not only in our industry, but every single industry, the powers to be, the older, the aged professionals.
You just said that the average age was 57 for real estate.
57, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
They want to dismiss these tools because they don't know how to use the tools. But now we have millennials who they'll do their own thing and they don't care anything about what the older people are talking about. And so we're seeing a whole shift right now, and it's not going to change. What was funny, I don't know if anybody saw this, a couple of years ago, you had Matthew Ferreira and another guy who teaches technique on stage. And Matt is like on Twitter dogging this guy. And he said, oh, but he wouldn't know that because he's not hanging out on Twitter, right? And it was a jab. But think about all of the older guys. What they're doing now is they're bringing in social media and technology because they know it works. And there's just no way around it. By next year, every buyer will start their real estate search online, and most of them will do it from a mobile device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a big preacher, a lot of the agents, especially like in their 50s or old school, and they're like, I'm not on Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I don't like Twitter. I don't like this. And I go, it doesn't matter what you like. It's what your customers like. It's not where you are. Go to where your customers are, right? So, it's not all about you.
I wrote a blog post. I was really pushed to blog more, but one of my recent blog posts, and it was not like recent, like yesterday, it might be in May, on how software is made for the real estate industry. And real estate agents are frustrated because in our marketplace, and Justin can second this, in our marketplace, we are getting so many new products for Midwest Real Estate Data, which is our multiple listing service. And they're coming out so fast that agents are frustrated because they can't learn it fast enough. But the truth is technology is not built for the real estate agent. It's built for the consumer. So when we see software, it is built for the people that are using it. And we're behind, and agents are becoming listless because they don't know how to adapt fast enough. So if you're not willing to learn, and that's, I have, Marky knows, I have an identical twin, and she's an educator in California. She's a principal, Victorville, somewhere around there. I don't, she's supposed to drive up to San Diego, but when she teaches, even with kids and the professionals, the educators, she told me that the goal is to help kids and adults figure out how to figure it out. So if you don't get to the point where you're a self-learner and know that you can just Google it, you will get to a point where you'll be replaced, right, Marky? We're the replacements. We are coming in and we are taking over even the training world because we're willing to go learn how to use the new technology. So you're absolutely right, Noah.
What part of real estate doesn't have technology in it? I'm confused. Is there some aspect of this business today that doesn't have a technology component to it? Everything in real estate has a technology component to it. And if you look at our children, we don't teach them how to write checks. We don't teach them how to address envelopes. They don't teach penmanship in Chicago public schools. Our children won't write checks. My husband's like, the boy need to write a check. For what? He's never going to write. My 8-year-old will never write a check.
I don't have checks. I don't have checks. I refuse to do it.
You refuse to buy them paper things.
I don't. Well, I laugh because I'm actually going to a new workout facility here, and they go, I said, I'm going to have to give you a money order. He goes, well, you can do a check. I said, well, I could if I actually have them. Yeah, I don't have them. And I refuse. If you look at the bottom, and I tell this when I teach class, I'm a paper phobic. If you look at the bottom of my vehicle right now, it's paper mache mats. Because that's where paper goes to die, right? It just sits there. It is destroyed. If you want me to lose something, you want me to misplace something, you want me to ruin something.
That's probably all of us.
Format. It's going to happen all day long.
I would have been.
Here's a tip: put a recycling bucket in your garage, or right, like.
Actually,
every day when I get out of my car, I just collect all the paper and toss it. Right.
what I actually have, and it's overflowing, which is sad. I do have right there next to my glove compartment box, I have a plastic bag that I put all that stuff into, and it's overflowing. So,
wow, yeah, but when we think about Google, I think one of the things we wrote a class, the listing presentation from any device, and when I wrote that class, because about 80% of real estate brokerages are going to be that small operation, where 20% are big companies. With technology today, there isn't any reason that a small ma and pop operation can't look like a Fortune 500, and they can do it with Google alone.
Oh, absolutely.
You can do it with Google alone. And it's just no excuse for some of the stuff that we see out here for you not to be fully branded, to not use tools and technology, because when I go back in time and I think about some of the tools that we used to use, it cost me a tenth to operate my real estate business in 2015 than it did in 1999.
Oh, yeah.
1/10 because of technology.
You're reaching so many more clients.
Yeah.
Buyers, sellers. I mean, I see in the comments, Desiree, she said that, there's so many analytics and, people think, you go into some of these classes and people think Facebook is just for, sharing what you had for lunch and taking pictures of your kids. And then you show them your business page and you show them, here's the percentage of men and women versus women. Here's the age breakdown of people who like your page. This is when the people are on. And they're like, what? And then you pull up like the audience data, right? I tell them, you could get like someone comes to you and says, here, publish an XYZ magazine. You go on Facebook and research what the audience of XYZ magazine looks like from their Facebook page. Like they're amazed. And, to what Carrie was saying before, I think a lot of the stubborn agents or whatnot, or stubborn brokers, I'll call it what it is, stubborn, right? So, they just take their assistant and they're just like, just do it. And then they don't really understand that when you just hand it off, like it doesn't really work as effectively. Like if you take the time to learn it, and a lot of these people are like, oh, I can't learn it. I'm like, you know how to sell like a house. You know how to do, you know how to take a house into contract through escrow, all the legalities of it. What do you mean you don't know how to Google something? If you want to, you will learn it. You just have to find a way to learn it. Get a mentor, get a teacher if you need that. Just take the time because your assistant can post all the stuff to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, but people want to connect with you, right? So you use the social platforms to show people your personality, who you are. I'm gonna pick up the phone in the first ring, right, Justin? If it's a client calling. I'm gonna call you back. Well, don't say that to the clients, But hey, you call me. I'm gonna be responsive when I have your listing. They want to connect with you, the person, because when they feel they have a personal relationship with you, you can't just sell something without having some kind of personal connection with somebody on some level, right?
Yeah.
And so if you kind of leverage that, and you're just going to organically get clients, you're going to organically get buyers, you're going to organically get sellers who just see your personality, who see your activities, and especially with what I was going to say is Google, talking about Google, which is what the Blab is about. A lot of people, they don't even have their business listed in Google in the local search, which is key, right? So the first thing you do is get your business listed in Google, get some reviews on there, and you're going to show up. I mean, people are going to type realtor, and you're going to have your Zillows and Julias and stuff, but at the end of the day, Google is going to return local results to your buyers and sellers. And go ahead.
And real estate is still a local business, and so you
definitely it is absolutely a local business. People are not, if I want to buy a house here in San Diego, I'm not, just typing real estate agent. Period. I'm typing real estate agent San Diego or whatever neighborhood I'm in. You could also leverage Google to. It's called. Well, I teach what's called pull marketing, so it's not just pushing your message out, right? So it's not just I'm the best realtor.
That works so well.
I'm going to sell your house the fastest. What you can do is you could go on Google some of your local businesses, right, and connect with them, leave them reviews, go take pictures, like you were saying, at the local businesses, and put those pictures on their Google listings, put those pictures on their Yelp reviews, connect with them on social. And then, all their fans, they see your stuff, right? So you go to the local restaurant, you go to the local dry cleaners, make a short little video, make a Facebook post. Hey, I love going to XYZ dry cleaners. He does a great job, presses my shirts. And this is one of the reasons why I live in this neighborhood and sell houses here, right? And, he might have 500 people who like his business page, and I go to the dry cleaner guy and say, hey, I just, gave you props. Can you share it on your page? Now, all 500 of his fans are seeing your post on his page. So that's like pulling in your local community to basically promote you without even promoting you, right? It's just an organic visibility.
What did you call it again? What did
I call it pull marketing, where you're basically pulling people into your sphere of influence.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Because it's something I do, but I never had a name for it.
Yeah,
so I'm infamous for using Swarm, Foursquare, and Yelp for connecting myself online to key businesses in my community. And it's, really has built my visibility. But the example that I often use is that I checked into a restaurant called Chant in Hyde Park, and the restaurant down the street, the Lighthouse Grill, sent me a tweet and said, hey, Marky, the next time you're in Hyde Park, stop by and get 10% off your meal. And so a few weeks later, I went by, and not only did I get 10% off my meal, I got a rental referral because they wanted another location. And so I am always connecting. It's the easiest way to connect with people, businesses in your community. And in some of the communities that we serve, real estate is not the most popular thing searched for in that area. And so I recommend you find the most popular venue in your area and connect yourself to it so that when people are searching for it, you come up.
That's exactly what pull marketing is all about.
I didn't know.
Because think about it. These small business owners, they need just as much help as you, right? So the local restaurant, the local mom and pop cafe, the local dry cleaner, the local business, they need as much publicity. They're spending tons and tons of cash on display ads. They don't really know what they're doing either. Most of them, at least. As far as digital marketing goes. So if you approach them as I can help you. And then that organically just comes back because they have like the best steaks in town. And everyone goes to the steakhouse because they have the best steaks in town, right? And if you're a big promoter of it and you're visible on their Facebook wall and their Yelp reviews, then all of a sudden people are like, oh, Marky knows which the best steakhouses in town. And, she's kind of like the local authority. She's one of the people in this community.
I like what Robert said, barter marketing.
Oh, beautiful. But guess what? You can also add your Foursquare check-ins with Map to a spreadsheet into Google. So I'm posting that right now. I've been posting different recipes where you can do two things at once by using if this, then that with something with inside of the Google family.
So, all your links are over to
that side. Way. Yeah, whatever side that is. And so, most definitely. Tell me the formal term again. You did write it down, Carrie, right?
Pull, P-U-L-L, like I'm pulling something. Pull marketing.
Pull marketing. I get it. Oh, you know what? I don't know what I was saying, but I'm letting you know now. I'll give you credit, but I'm going to be using.
She's stolen it. It's already gone, right? There you go.
Pull.
P-O-L-L, like pull marketing.
P-U-L-L. P-U.
Pull marketing.
Pull, right. I'm tug of war. Pull.
Right, you're pulling people in. Another cool thing that a lot of my clients do is they take I help them develop a little like HTML badge, right? And they do a best of in their community. So Marky's like, what? So, like my community is Santa Fe Hills, or it's called San Marcos, California. It's like the north suburbs of San Diego. And so I could have, best restaurant in San Marcos, best dry cleaners in San Marcos, best, steakhouse in San Marcos. And I could go to all these businesses and just say, hey, I love eating here. And, I'm a local realtor and I refer my clients to places. Can I give you this? Can I give you the badge? And they're like, the best in San Marcos or the best in XYZ community. And they are like, what? Sometimes they're like, you actually like coming here that much? Yeah. And, that badge on their website clicks back to your website. You have like a best of page in your community, right? So there's a bunch of backlinks back to your website, and you're getting more visibility and more, more. It's coming around. Or you could even give them a sign to put in their window, voted best of San Marcos by XYZ Realty or whatnot.
Wow. Now, you know what? I'm trying to pull up an old article, but at one point there was a gentleman by the name of Dale Chumbley. He was on Inman's 100 most influential people in real estate, and Dale was one of the first people to do 365 things. So for 365 days, he talked about something to do in the Clark County, where he connected to 365 different businesses. He went in, he has a video of each that's 30 seconds or less. So he has a whole YouTube channel. He took 3 photos, so he has a whole Flickr account. And then he might have wrote about 100 words. And what's funny about this is that for 365 days, this man blogged. And I doubt if he blogs once per month now, but all that content is still out here and he is still connected, probably unlike any other licensee in his area, to 365 businesses. And I almost rest assure you, he was so strategic that he connected to the top businesses online when he was checking into those 365 businesses. And he didn't pay for any of that. Or I was in Manhattan not too long ago, and when you look at the Corcoran Group, man, they are the bomb diggity when it comes to Manhattan, but they're the largest residential real estate company, because if you were to go to Del Frisco, the Lobster, Morton's, all the top steakhouses, when you look at their Yelp and their Foursquare account, all you see is the Corcoran Group, their licensees checking in, talking about, come here for appetizers before you come to one of our open houses in close proximity. So they've used their check-in as free online marketing for anyone else eating at those establishments. And now I know I can do a spreadsheet. Oh, my goodness.
They probably train their agents. It's probably a part of their onboarding. Wherever you go, check in.
Check in.
And we don't even think that way in real estate.
The business owners, business owners, they see someone coming in, they're like, oh, here we go again. I'm getting solicited. But when they see someone coming in, just say, hey, I'm a local real estate agent. I love eating here. I'm just going to tell all my clients. They're like, well, what's the catch? What do I have to buy? You're like, I don't want you to buy anything.
So you can track that on your Google sheet, right, Marky?
Yep. You can track all of your Foursquare check-ins into a Google sheet. And let me say this, you don't ever have to ask these businesses for anything. If they have any type of online strategy, they know who you are. Okay. And they will offer you stuff. So I eat complimentary quite a bit, and I don't ever have to say I'm there or anything, because they're going to send me a message and true story. I'm in San Diego, right? I'm staying at the Hotel Del Coronado. I tweet when I get off the plane that I'm going there. When I get there, I said, ooh, service started at the curb. Okay. They didn't have my room ready. I went, came back. When I got to my room, I had a handwritten card, a bottle of champagne, and a whole fruit array thanking me for my tweet. And nobody else got that. I thought it was special. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm special. No, honey, it was for the tweet.
Yeah, that's where people are looking online, and, that you're helping them, right? And then they retweet your tweet. And then, a place like the Hotel Del probably has, I could look it up right now, thousands and thousands of followers on their Facebook, on their Twitter. So, that's how you're pulling in your sphere of influence. It's that, and for those of you that don't get it, they're just, people are so used to pushing, hey, use me as a realtor, right? That doesn't work.
Okay, so I just want everyone to know that I updated the topic a little bit because we're going back and forth into social media. So if you could tell a bird, so we can get that out there. And we do have a question from Desiree, and she asked it to all of us. And she says, have we found the Google Plus business page is the biggest secret out there? Now, I'm going to say this. Now, I've Googled it because everywhere I go, people say, Carrie, Google Plus is going away. So I'm Googling and I'm trying to read and I'm trying to figure, I'm like, what? And I haven't found that it's going away. I just find that Google, the people that are blogging about it, they're saying that there were some challenges. So I'm not going to say that's going away. Now, when it comes to the Google Plus business page, I like my Google Plus business page, but if you work for a big firm, and I have a great presence on Google Plus because I was in the beta, so I was already there. But if you work for a big firm that owns your Google Plus account, they can turn off your Google Plus business page. And I work for a big firm, and anyone that owned that Google Plus had a business page, their business page went away.
I mean, I like it from the Google standpoint, but before we had got there, a lot of people were talking about the value of video. And when I think about the value of video, there's a new report out from Cisco that states that come 2019, 79% of all content viewed online will be in the form of a video. One of the reasons we're committed to doing Blab, Periscope, we're starting all content in video format because we understand the power of video. So even though I love Google Plus, I understand that the content that people engage with is video number one and photos number two. So I'm trying to create as much of that content as humanly possible because that's how people learn and that's what engages them. It's not about me. It's about what people want. And we have to give them what they want or they're going to go get it.
With one minor exception to that, there is one thing that, and the reason why Google Plus exists, and it's findability, right? So Twitter and Facebook and all these other tools can say yes or no to being searched, period. And Twitter did that 4 years ago. They just turned that search back onto Google. So one of the best things that you can do in there is have a Google Plus present with a personal profile and a business page. And have that same content. I don't care about duplication. Everyone worries about duplication back and forth across feeds. I don't really care. Because really the honest answer is each one has different people in it. You have different consumers in each one. But you need to be in there because if you don't, you could eventually lose all that searchability from all those other tools that you're in there at. And if you don't have those pages and don't have that findability, you're sunk and you've lost a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree. I think video is where it's at, and that's why we're all doing this. That's why all of us do Periscope or do other things at some point in time. But to ignore Google Plus, and Google Plus ain't going away. The simple line that happened with Google Plus is new management came in, and the one that pushed Google Plus is no longer in there. So they are refiguring that out, and it's getting repurposed and redone. Not going away, but all the bloggers like having hype, and that's how they get their page hits. Ain't going away.
I think that Google isn't like the Google local search. It's like almost like powered by like Google Plus, right? So like when you register your business, I mean, you do your whole business listing on Google Plus, and that's how then they send you out the postcard, right? And you verify your business, and that's kind of where it's driven from because when people leave reviews and things on that, that appears in your Google directory listing. So I mean, yeah, it's not going to go away. It might evolve, but it's not going to go away.
One thing Solutions Turk was talking about is the fact that, a lot of us come to rely on social media channels, but we don't own a blog. We don't own and control our own content. And one thing is that we cannot fall in love with any of these tools because they will change on you in the blink of an eye. Just when you start loving one thing, it'll be different come tomorrow. And so, yes, we need to back up all the content we share online because I remember, anybody remember? I think it was Posterous. I was all on Posterous blogging. It's no longer here, right? And we've seen a whole lot of great tools come and go. I use Feedly because the Reader, Google Reader went away. So if we become attached and tomorrow that sucker probably gone or they got bought up by this company and they no longer want to use these tools anymore. And there's going to be something new. Think about Marquette just this year. I mean, it was rising and then Periscope came along and that thing went bloop, bloop, right? And now Blab is here. It's just, don't become fixated on any one channel or think that your content is going to always be available there.
Well, real estate's nimble, and you got to be too.
Yeah,
flexible.
Someone in the comments said, their Google, like, or also I think Carrie said, like if you work for a big company, they'll erase your Google Plus page if they own it. And I think the way that works is, with my company, and if I have employees, and each of them has a Google, Gmail, an email based on Google or whoever based on, and you have a Google Plus page, and then you have the YouTube channel, all based on my company. When you no longer work for my company, I'm deleting your account, right? So I think in real estate, it's important that you guys have your own independent social media channels, independent of your broker, because people change brokers all the time, that you control, right? And everyone's like, hey, I want my website from my broker, and that's fine and all, and you could get one, but it's also important to maintain like your own website or your own blog. I mean, even if it's just on a simple platform like Tumblr, or like if you're not tech savvy, just at least have some way of keeping your own content.
And Social Turk, maybe you could tell us your name so I can say your name. He mentioned that real estate agents should have their own website. I really do think that real estate agents should have their own websites, but if you're someone, we're getting someone else here. Is this someone? Let's see. Hold on. Uh-oh.
I could have checked out too.
Is it okay?
Okay, hold on.
It was okay.
Lost somebody. Where'd Marky go? Marky, where'd you go? Okay. Anyway, so Marky's letting him in. So come back in, Marcel. Come on in, and then Marky can come back in. So try it again, and I'll let you in. Social Turk, what's your name again? I didn't see it. All right, come on in. So before we chat, I want to mention Social Solutions Turk. Yes, I do believe that real estate agents should have their own websites, but it really depends on when you started. If you don't have any internet presence, you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to say I would go with free first if you don't have the budget.
Absolutely, I'll do it.
So
Google
hi,
yourself.
Marcel.
Pretend you're a customer and Google yourself. See what comes up. That's the best way to start.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Marky, for letting me. I had said something.
Tell us who you are, what you do. Give us your spiel, and then so when we watch the video later, we know who you are.
Like radio and stuff. And I heard you guys, but I want to say thanks to Marky because we were texting, and she was like, "Go ahead, I'll let you say." I didn't want to do a lot of texting there. I heard you guys talking about, the mobile platform. I mean, the platforms, how they can go away. And we really sometimes rely on them a lot. And what I think we should do, and this is just my idea, is I think we should only use the social media platforms to push people to the platform that we own, be it a website and preferably a mobile app. Mobile apps are not this thing that's just so far out there that we can't reach. And, and again, I'm not here to advocate get an app or get a site. I'm just saying a platform, because statistics show that somewhere around 70 to 80% of the people who access content from the internet use their mobile devices. You know what I mean? And then mobile apps have special tools to allow you to do even more than a website. So as real estate goes, or as any other business, I think we need to practice using social media and not living in social media. We do everything on these platforms that don't belong to us, So that's what I wanted to say, and I just didn't want to type it all in. So thank you, Marky, for allowing me to come in, and thank you, Carrie, for allowing.
Thank you. Wait, before you go, let me tell everyone, please follow Marcel and then click on his name to follow him on Twitter. So make sure you follow him on Twitter. And then, I'm all about let's make sure we all are following each other. Oh, you got a nice little following. You're not following a lot of people, but that's what Twitter is for. You need to be a leader, right?
What? No, it's
okay.
What happened? I have a unique way of getting followers, right? And they happen so quickly. Like generally, when you see that many followers, you think well, why didn't you follow people back? But it's like I have a unique way of getting them, and it's not buying them. It's because of when you're doing broadcasts and you sit on people's page, they all follow you, you know, and it's just a lot of people. I you know. So anyway, so
I will say that that's true. That I found that when I'm live, I gain more followers pretty much everywhere because people like to see you on a live platform.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So again, thanks,
right.
guys.
Thanks, Marcel.
All right.
One thing I would say about the apps is basically I would only do an app if someone's basically either providing it to you or sponsoring it for you, like maybe some of the lenders or the escrow people. They like to do that because think about how you use your mobile phone, right? We're probably using the same 5 to 8 apps every day, right? And then the ones on our second screen, third screen, fourth screen, I mean, we probably don't even use them anymore. So you want to be on, again, like you want to be on social media and sure, point people over to your website and your app. But, having consumers download an app, especially if the app, a lot of these apps are designed, and no offense to anyone, they kind of suck. Like the apps just don't work. The developers can't keep up on their app updates, and they crash or they're not sized right. And so just be very careful pointing clients to an app because a lot of times they'll just sit unused and they'll go on Zillow or Facebook or wherever they're comfortable with.
Well, I've said this a lot in classes lately when I teach this. The worst thing I see realtors do all day long is try to compete with the Zillows and the Trulies world. Well, they have the market on searching and that functionality. To be in today's market, if you're going to have an app, you got to have a unique selling proposition, and that's what you're selling in that app. If you're not doing that, then you've spent a lot of money on nothing. So I couldn't agree more. If you're going to do that, have someone pay for it. That's awesome. Otherwise, have a way that you are going to be one unique person in that app that you're going to do that for. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels.
A little hack you could do is you could just go to your website on your phone. I'm an Apple guy, so I'm pretty sure you could do this on Android, right? And then you could just save the link to your website on the phone, and it looks like an app, right? And so here I'm going to put my app on your phone. And all it is just a link to your website, but it looks like a little square app. So it goes to the IDX page on your website. Problem solved, right?
And I'm looking at Marcel. He says, I disagree, but respectfully, when it comes to apps, and like I said, my oldest is 25, and that network, they really do everything on apps. But I've found that the people that are working with me as buyers and sellers, they aren't on their mobile devices as much as I think people are. When people communicate with me, they're not always texting. They're either emailing me or they're calling me. So I really think that it really depends on your marketplace. Who's your client? And then I would say redirect that way. Now, I always redirect to a website because I want you to be able to find me. But if you Google me, you can find me. So whatever platforms you're using, I would say be consistent. So if people go there, it's just if you go to your Facebook page and you don't have content, it's like, or if you are going to the other websites where people can shop, if you own a Nordstrom and you don't know where your inventory comes from, you've defeated the purpose. So I think you still have to build content. I think people should blog, but everyone doesn't blog. Marky has perfected it. I'm still getting there, Marky. But I really think that it really depends on your marketplace when it comes to redirecting.
When you say blog, are you mean written content, or is this kind of stuff counting in your eyes?
I think written content or video content. I like written with photos because I still read. Not everyone does. I do listen to a lot of books, but I think that we should be blogging. And I've had the debate even with my professor. They're like, write 500 words. I'm like, really? My clients won't read 500 words. So I'm very to the point, bullet points, just to give you the meat of what you need. And then they go away. And one day I'll I'll grow up like you, Marky, and have my lead page.
Well, and see that I was going to say that. So I use lead pages and
right.
lead digits, and actually that's converting very well for me. And so my students opt in. They want that PowerPoint. They want a handout right then and there. And I connect my lead pages to Infusionsoft and follow up. But what has really worked well for me is simple follow up. So I on purpose leave my business card at home because I want to collect your business card. And my follow-up is really good now that I'm getting students to opt in for coaching and consulting and every single class because of the follow-up. I've received so many emails. They're saying, hey, Marky, you're the first speaker who's ever followed up. And so for me, I like the lead pages. I like the lead digits. Both of those are mobile friendly. Yep. And I'm sharing a link with people that leads them to content based on how we met.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a big lead pages fan. And just to clarify, I'm not saying that for Marcel, I'm not saying having an app is a bad idea. I'm just saying like a lot of agents need to examine their ROI, right? So like how much are you investing versus how much more money this app is going to generate, how much more income this app is going to generate for you. So, an app's good. And a lot of people hear the word app and I have an app and it's a shiny new thing. But at the end of the day, is this app going to get me, X, Y, Z more listings, or, is going to make buyers work with me? Or do they want to just know that I'm a good real estate agent and I know what I'm talking about, right? Versus having an app. Speaking about just lead pages, I know a lot of the email, I use lead pages too and lead digits. And even like lead digits, some realtors like find confusing. So I use Aweber, but I know all the other major email marketing services have this as well. They have a sign up app. I'm not sure if maybe you guys could see that. Yep. So it's basically you could lock your screen, right? So you could just lock your screen. And so the screen is locked, and to unlock it, I have my passcode and my Touch ID. And you could just pass this works on an iPad too. You could just pass your tablet around and have students just enter their name and email address and hit submit.
I started using Aweber.
Yeah.
I did go the Aweber route.
It's called the Aweber Atom, ATOM, the Aweber Atom app. And you could make a customized sign-up sheet on your tablet or phone. And you'll have, instead of having a sign-up sheet, like a paper sign-up sheet, you'll have everyone's name and email address instantly. By the time you walk out of class, you could have an autoresponder. By the time they get home, they're going to be like, how did Marky email me already? How did Carrie email me already? She's still packing up her stuff from the class, So,
hey, Justin, jump out for 2 seconds or 5 minutes, and then let Marcel back in, and then come back in.
Mm-hmm.
And see,
okay, Marcel, come back in.
What's blowing their mind is that I'm standing at the front of the room, and they just downloaded exactly what I told them I was going to give them. And then a few minutes later, they still see me standing there, and they just got a thank you. I'm Marky Lemon's additional details, and they like.
That's your assistant. That is your assistant working in the office.
Wait, they looking around like, did she bring somebody with her? No,
I make them. They're so used to handouts, right? Where's the handout? I go, there's no handout. I go, enter your name and email, and you'll get the handout.
You know how many trees we kill? They leave. They're so disrespectful and inconsiderate with paper. I wish I would pay for another sheet of paper for somebody.
I will tell you, and Marky knows I train our multiple listing service, so we have handouts, but I have better handouts, and I actually send them the better handout afterwards. Justin's agreeing with me. So do I still have paper just for the training for our MLS because it's looked for because you can actually download the handout. Yep. But I give them more value because when they get the email from me, they have better info. So, So jump in, Marcel. What's your question or what's your statement?
No, I saw Noah was taking a position on getting people to log in. So I typed into the chat, what's the goal here? And I was trying to find out before I spoke what would be. I mean, obviously I could assume, right? But I wanted to
So the goal of capturing, and so as a marketer or a teacher, right? So you want to create sticky relationships with your students, right? And so, especially since this whole world, Google, social media, whatever we're talking about, is constantly changing. So what I'm teaching today probably won't be relevant in 4 months, 5 months, even sooner than that. I mean, literally, Facebook changes, YouTube changes every few months. And
Periscope has a new change.
Right. So I use their name and email to send them updates on the things that I teach them. And, at the end of the day, I'm running a business too. So, I can offer them a paid webinar. I could offer them one-on-one coaching and training. And, they have another subscribe link, but basically it's just a way of keeping in touch, right? Driving people to your other social media, driving people to your website. You could send them an autoresponder series. Having a name and an email is a very powerful thing.
Oh, okay. No, and I agree. I think that's great. I just think that when it comes to real estate, or if you're a business, small business, or really anything, right? Promoter, if you're a singer or musician, I think we need to use all of the tools that are available to us are very, very important, and you can't or shouldn't leave out one tool like a mobile app. And again, I'm not here to peddle apps or anything like that. It kind of sounds like app, but I just think it's so important. And I listen and I hear what people have to say whenever I pop in somewhere and I say, hey, what about apps? And it seems like everyone feels, or a lot of people feel, the app is, you don't really need that. And it really is a powerful, powerful tool to be added to your arsenal. Nobody's saying get rid of your website for the app, right? Like we're not saying get rid of social media for your app. What I'm asking is for people to recognize that maybe if you use the social media that you do not own, that we already established can change or go away, but if you use it and push them to a platform that you own, like a website, and then that could possibly, the last place you want to send them is to the app, because the app has various tools. Now, you're collecting emails so that you can market to them, right? Basically. Well, when someone downloads your app, you can send push notifications to them, right? And you can, let's say you have a business, you can set up a geofence where if someone comes within, 150 meters of your business, now they can get a notice from you saying, hey, stop by. Apps also work when there is no internet present, okay? Especially like out west here, mountains everywhere, always running into issues. So, the bulk of your presentation and your information still exists because once they download it once, it's there. They don't have to log in to get. So I don't want to, go on and on and on, but I'm just saying it's a very, very powerful tool. And then the other misconception is, because I heard someone say something to the extent that pay that money or all that money. And it leads me to at least assume to some extent that maybe people don't really understand what an app would cost and those things. There are a lot of variables there. I just feel like if you're in real estate, if you're an artist or a musician, if you have your small business, just about anyone should really think twice about and hard about getting their own app, because that represents your own platform. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just thinking because I'm getting an echo, but that's if someone doesn't have headphones. I don't know. We all do. Okay. So anyway, when it comes to apps, the challenge for the real estate industry is there's so many to choose from. So when I have buyers and sellers, and I am still in the industry, I do train, but I still have buyers and sellers. And when I have buyers, I find in our MLS, we have over 35,000 real estate agents that use our multiple listing service. We have a fabulous app. I have an app that I can share with you on Facebook, Twitter, and I can text it to you and I can email it to you. Midwest Homes. Right now, I can share it with all of you. You can download it and you can shop. But what I'm finding is that the consumers are going to where they want to go. So even though I push the app, I meet you and I want to get you into my space, they are going to where they really want to be. So I am competing with the Trulia, Zillow, Home Finder, Realtor.com, which is a product of our industry. So I love the idea of an app. Do I share the app? Yes. But I'm still finding that the next generation of buyers is on that other company's site that I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I do
yeah.
and when it comes to our industry, there are some really heavy influencers that have their own apps, and even in the education arena, and you can go to their apps and you can watch their free videos, you can listen to their audio, and you can learn. But I truly believe that if you're not an influencer or you're not really dominating the space yet, it's hard to have an app. Now, do I think Marky Lemons can have an app? I think she's at a point where she can have a Marky app, a remarketable app.
Well, if you believe that she can have an app, there's really no reason why you shouldn't have one. And
I'm not saying I shouldn't, but I'm saying, that at the university, everyone keeps saying, Carrie, you need a Carrie app. And I do have one of my classmates who ended up being a buyer. Her husband builds apps, and we keep talking about it. So it doesn't mean that I won't do it, but because I still sell, I really push the real estate buy a house app.
And you just as you admitted to some extent, you don't see the use case, and perhaps right for your own right now is am I wrong in saying
maybe
that?
Convince me. I'm really like, if you go to my blog, it's mobile friendly. If you go, I'm not saying I shouldn't have an app. I'm not,
right.
I really think, but I still feel like I'm not at a point where I can manage my current business. I'm trying to redefine my education life or how I train. And until I get that corrected, could I have someone building the app? Yes, but it wouldn't be the top of my list.
Okay. You see how we're in this Blab with you, right?
Yes.
You're taking the time to come in here and speak to everyone here, and then the folks who are on the side, and maybe more to come.
So I should have an app and upload the video.
No. But if you had your own app, what you could do is you could take this video right here that's happening here, because you can live embed it into your own app. And then people would come to your app and not here. The key is to get people to follow you where you are. And all of your social media, Twitter, Facebook, Google, whatever you use is right there on the same page they're watching this on your app. They can go to Twitter, Google, and you can say, tap Google because you're watching me from the app, my app, and then you can access this or that. What it does is, regardless what you do, just in my opinion, I feel like everyone should start gravitating to getting their own platform outside a website. Now, the other thing I'll say real quickly here is, if you notice, Periscope and what's the other one, the yellow one, Meerkat, right? We're kind of familiar with those, right? Well, they don't allow you to do what Blab does, and that means do a live chat or whatever it is on the computer, right? But they still have a website. And all that website exists for is it's an easy mechanism to get you from point A to point B and then C, which is to the app, right? And that's what it is. We've for the last maybe 5 years and beyond, we've been heavily relying on social media and websites. And the paradigm has actually shifted, but a lot of people aren't paying attention, in my opinion, in my view, to the mobile apps. And they are a lot easier to get into. And again, I'm only saying this because I use one. I see how they work. I visit small businesses every day. Again, I'm not doing real estate. I'm doing radio, right, to an extent. And what we do is we go out, like typically for years, working for Clear Channel and Radio One, we would broadcast in a studio sort of like this, right? 3 or 4 hours. I never go in the studio. I just have this here for those times if it's really bad and I can't make it out. I go out where the people are. When I do a broadcast for these folks, again, as I mentioned earlier, I broadcast on their social media. I'm creating content for them, and they're helping me out by allowing all those people on their social media to encounter me, right? And I let it go right to my social media, but I put nothing on my social media that people need to hang out there for. I just put blurbs that will say, no, the real party's over here on the app, the platform that I own, that everybody knows how to get to, either on Google or Apple's mobile app store. So
you can track your analytics when it comes to your app. You know how many people are on the app. Do we have to register for your app? Are you able to see the return on investment?
Not only can you track those, right, but everyone knows that you can kind of get into those analytics a little bit and do some things. What you can't do is you can't get into what Apple gives you as far as analytics. And it goes a long way when you show someone something coming from Apple, the company, which is iTunes Connect is where it's connected to, or Google Play Store, when you can say this amount of people download the app from this location and that location or this area. So you can use it in concert with that. And look, the beauty contest right now, I'm not saying forever, but right now, it's still cool to have an app, right? And when you give someone, this is the last thing, because I know I'm being very loquacious, very talkative.
Just share your app over to that side.
I don't share it in here. And then thanks for that. I don't even use any of that in this setting. I
just want to know how to find it. At least give us the name, unless you don't want us to find you.
No, it's a New Media Radio.
Okay.
And you can go to newmediaradio.com. Is it Droid and Apple platform? Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying though is when, we really, I guess I'm just basically saying, I think people really need to look at all the options or all the tools that are available to them and use. I believe there's a use case for an app as well. That's all. So
all right, thank you. I like the argument. So when I build my app, I'll let you know, Marcel.
I'm not a builder. I'm just a person.
I said when it's built, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant all right.
When it's created.
So I just have like a couple of and I'm just going to give you like the counter. Well, I guess here it goes because I wanted to talk to Marcel, but so real estate, right? We're all self-employed essentially, right? So our marketing dollars are our own, and I think the point that I was trying to make was, you start out as an agent. And immediately, you buy your own business cards, you buy your own signs, you buy your own everything. So as a new agent, they need to really take a look at where they're investing their marketing dollars. That was the only thing I was saying. I wasn't saying an app's not good. I was just saying where can I invest my marketing dollars that's going to get me the most return on that investment. Now, there's a lot of apps that you can get branded with your name, and search with XYZ agent, search with Marky, search with Kerry. But to truly go out, because I work with app developers. If you truly go out and get a developer to do a custom app for you, that nobody else has, where it has like the geolocation, where you walk up to a house and it knows where you are and it texts you all the information about that house, things like that. That costs a couple of $1,000s to actually have custom developed, because from a developer. I know you're saying no, but I've worked with real estate guys who develop real estate apps. If you go to a developer,
I'll take a couple of grand from you right now, but I'm just telling you, it doesn't have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying is when you start from scratch on an app and you hire a developer, that developer he has to update the app every time the iOS or the Android changes their platform. It's a lot of maintenance to get a custom made app. And I would recommend it for someone who's in the business, at least 2 years, or at least is doing, 100 transactions a year or more. Right. So I'm not saying it's a bad app. I'm not saying apps are bad. I'm just saying you just have to invest your marketing dollars where you directly see it coming back. Right?
What I would recommend is that people who hear and listen, you're saying what you're saying because that's what your truth is, and I understand that. And but I would recommend to anyone that can hear or see this broadcast or podcast or whatever it's called, to just do your own research, right? And speak to some developers, because from where I sit, that isn't how I see it,
And I would say this, and I know it's 8:30 and we've been on since 7, so I do want to eventually wrap this up. My assistant is over there going, "What are you doing?" So
you making money?
I want to say this. When it comes to real estate agents' number one goal is to generate a lead. And I would say whether it's an app, social media, your website, your company's website, knocking on doors, cold calling, yes, that's old school for me because it's not going to happen. You have to go where your clients are, and you must have an internet presence. So when you do your research, if you're new in the industry, I need you to just generate a lead, and that's my goal as an educator, to train you how to generate a lead. And if we are researching, trying to figure out how to make things work, you can't be successful. So do I think the idea of an app is great? Yes. But in our industry, 35,000 real estate agents already get one, and it doesn't cost them anything extra. So I would say go with your company, go with your MLSs giving you one. And if not, then look at the developers that have built the tools for you, because there are some websites out there that will brand them and they're already built.
But you don't really own those is the problem.
And one thing I would like to keep in mind, I was on the phone the other day with one of the, I think, top 3 brokerages internationally. And realtors, we're at about, even for free tools, a 4% adoption rate. And so a huge percentage, we have an abundance of tools, and we just don't use them. It's actually tool overload mentally. When we start looking at our multiple listing service, we have a whole drop down box with tool after tool after tool that one could use. And the first thing they're going to ask us when they see us is, which one of these tools should I use and why should I use it? And so and 80% are out here and they're just by themselves. So they're clueless as to what to do and how to do it.
They're spending a couple $100 to send out postcards. That's where realtors are nowadays.
Me into your sphere, because for me, this is education. It really gives me a real snapshot of what people in your field and what you feel and how you view certain things, and it really gives.
And it's all about the data. And I'm a data driven person, and I will tell you that like I said earlier, most people. The millennials software is built for the consumer. It's not built for us. So we should be using the tools that our consumers are using. But with that said, a real estate agent still has to learn those tools. So I would say make sure you are doing your research. You understand what's going to generate the leads for you. And believe it or not, I get most of my leads from Facebook.
All right. Well, thanks again for the opportunity to talk with you guys.
No, I appreciate it, Marcel. You had some great points. Seriously.
You too, Noah. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Marky, and thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Woo! We've had a full night, Carrie Bay.
Yes, we have. So I'm going to say, so let's all wrap it up. And I would like everyone to give their top tips. And I've changed the title 3 times. And I figured it was worth it. It'd be great if we could get 5 more people in the room to reach 100, but that's okay. I'm good. So I'm going to ask everyone, for those of you that are just joining us, thank you for joining us. We've been on for a while. We are going to give you our top tips, and then we're going to sign off. The Blab will be available pretty quickly, so you can watch the replay, and we will upload it to YouTube for your review for viewing later. Okay, so I'll go first, and I'll keep mine pretty basic, just because I know a lot of you have some great tips. So my top tips and my takeaways from our Blab are, and we started with Google. I'm going to encourage real estate agents to take advantage of the Google Forms and use it for surveys to grab testimonials for your business, and consider using Google Hangouts as a way to talk to your clients that are not in your immediate area, but they're selling in your area, but they live in another place. So use that as a way to have a private conversation. Okay, so Noah, how about you?
I'd say just my top tips are, work smarter, not harder. There's a lot of good ways, and Google is one of them, to spend less and earn more, right? Don't throw every single cent that you spend on marketing or technology. Get references, double check, spend every cent wisely, because there's a lot of inexpensive, free, and smart ways to ramp your business up very quickly without spending a ton of cash.
Okay, Justin.
A couple. One is this. I would say there's a new tool we didn't really talk about too much in here called Google Inbox. I would take advantage of that. I've been a big fan of that when it came out. Google Inbox is a great way of clearing out that clutter and going to the inbox zero philosophy of life.
That's an app.
What's that?
That's an app.
It is an app, and it's also a website. And I tell you what, it's great. And it takes some getting used to, because you get real nervous when you actually see nothing in your email box. But it's great to have. The other thing two other things. The thing I like to point out, and it's one of the things I'll have on a Blab here very shortly. We are realtors, and we have a lot of very secure data. Start getting used to having Google double authentication, at least in your email. Mm-hmm. Because if you lose your phone, you lose that stuff, you're out to lunch, and you have everybody in the world that can see your stuff. So having that double authentication is great to have. And third is just a little trick that I think you want to be aware of in technology trends. Start paying attention to Google Cardboard, because I think that's going to be a player in our space in real estate very, very quickly.
Virtual reality.
Yep. It's going to be a big player very, very soon.
You said Google Cardboard? You got us
Google Cardboard.
Right. I'm like.
Or Oculus.
Yeah,
Facebook owns Oculus.
It's a virtual reality glasses.
No, you're going to have to type that in. I can't spell that.
If you're used to.
I don't even know if I know how to spell it.
If you guys are used to Matterport,
Type that in, Justin.
Oculus, what? Huh? How you spell it? I told you I was going back to third grade. I got third grade homework. Good Lord, Oculus.
So Matterport is a laser system that is set up that designs that will take a 3D virtual scan of all rooms in a house.
Okay.
And you can then go in through a computer and look at it. But now what you can do, I saw that. Now what you can do is you will eventually, they haven't got there yet, but I was talking the other day, you will be able to put on a Google Cardboard. It's literally a cardboard box that you put over your hand like a viewer, like one of those little slide viewers, and you can then literally walk around the room and look at the room in a real space environment.
In your own, like
while you're sitting here.
Yeah, or invite someone to your office and have them put it on. You can give them a tour of every property.
Which is why I like Google Cardboard, because it costs you $25 to buy one. It's done. It uses your phone. You put it in the device, and it becomes a 3D viewer.
Okay. Like. Well, Carrie, that I'm all about repurposing content, so I'm loving the fact that I would probably start most content with video on my mobile device. The thing that I'm digging the most is the audio to text transcription inside of Google Sheets. I would say definitely if you talk more than you like to write, it would be a great way to create content.
Now, say that again. What are you using?
I'm using basically the audio to text transcription inside of Google, on Google Drive, Google Sheets.
And I just put in the comments, if we're just talking about specific technologies, Topsy and Buzz Sumo. Those are two great places to get good content to share or to generate topics to blog about that are already trending or popular.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
So so for those of you that are just joining us, I took a few notes, and I know people are just coming in. We are pretty much finished, so we made it. I would like to encourage those of you that just came in to watch the replay. We are going to now for Noah, Justin, put your websites in the chat over to the right, and I'm going to tell all of you in November, Marky Lemons and I will be in San Diego, so we'll get to meet Noah. Hopefully we got to connect, Noah. I think I followed you on Twitter. So we're going to be at the National Association of Realtors convention. And how many agents are there, Noah? I'm sorry, Marky?
There's 20,000 in attendance, but he's probably a member of the San Diego Association of Realtors that I believe is the #1 association in the state of California, right?
SDAR.
Yeah.
SDAR and
they got power.
Orange County. Yeah.
Yes, Cindy,
big associations.
Yeah, Cindy's saying she wants to go. I think everyone should go once, but once you go, you'll keep going. It's a really great event. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because Marky and I are going to Blab and Periscope live. So we're going to give you some behind the scenes at NAR. And Marky is a featured attendee. So I would like all of you to go and follow her. I just posted her link down there. Follow her. So she is going to be blogging live from the event. And
so is Carrie. Carrie's a featured attendee too.
So I'm going to post my link right now.
And I have 3 sessions, so hopefully she'll be talking about my sessions to you guys.
So my goal is to Periscope, and I got to find her sessions. And I'm there for Women's Council of Realtors as well, so I'm kind of going to be bouncing all over the place. And Main Street Organization of Realtors, so I'm going to be really working out here. And Marky, too, she's going to be speaking for WCR. She's going to be look at her. The WCR PMN designation. So follow us, watch us. No, we need to connect so we can meet, and maybe you can blab with us and do some behind the scenes stuff. So
for sure,
I really appreciate everyone joining us. Don't forget to join us next Thursday at 7 p.m. Marky, what's the next topic?
You know, I do not know.
Hold on, I'll tell you, because I have.
Marky doesn't know. Hold on, I'm going to take a look. We got some exciting things planned. Carrie and I, our shows are booked up through, I want to say January. So we're bringing in some pretty exciting topics to help everybody prepare for the new year. And so we're having fun. Let me just put it that way. And one thing Carrie did not tell you guys, we're doing the National Association Convention Series and featured attendees, but we're also participating in Blog Week. We're also participating in Social Media Week Chicago. We have behind the scene access. And so what we want to do is show you behind the scenes and take you places you might not have ever been before, utilizing social media and technology. That's our whole goal.
Oh, we're doing automated email marketing. So Noah, you probably need to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk infusion.
Shoot me a Twitter message or
all that
whatever
stuff.
on here. Or,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll schedule it now. So I'll go, when we sign off, I'll go create it. So you can find it, and I'll tweet it. So you have access to it. So I'll get that done. And then after that, we have how to get your virtual tours on
Glenn Marino.
Yeah, we have Glenn Marino. So we've got some pretty good speakers now. And I know Justin does a blab. When are your blabs, Justin?
Tuesday evenings. It's usually at 7, but that's going to get changed probably to 8 Central Time.
Good. So look for Justin. All right. So thank you, everyone. We're going to sign off. Watch the replay. And again, markylemons.com. I'm at smartgirlmedia.com. I should type that in. Marky, type yours in. smartgirlmedia.com. And Noah, did you put your website, Justin eProfessor? Put yours in there, and it'll be on the recording. And I will wait until you do that. And before we sign out, we have our tradition. We're going to take a picture.
I don't have my hat.
We need a Twitter.
Grab my little Christmas hat.
We need a Twitter hat, like tweet me. Okay, Mark. I like Marky because she's always got a great post. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to tell you when.
All right.
All right, here we go. Smile. All right, we're good. I've been taking pictures the whole time, and I've got some new, I see all the updates, so I'll share them with you, Marky, so you can blog about them. All right,
All right, good night,
have a good night.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.